Slow Money, which is all about sort of mindful investing. So it brings together venture capital, big-time investors, Goldman Sachs, those kind of people with, you know, hog farmers and tomato farmers and people working on slow food. So we're about to go in and hear Woody Tasch, the founder, who's an awesome guy. You can see him in other videos. We did videos of Slow Money last year in San Francisco. Find those on YouTube. And then Carlo Petrini, the founder of Slow Food, who he's Italian. McDonald's moved into Italy where they have all this like slow food tradition. Slow food basically means like taking the time to enjoy food, knowing where it's come from. You often hear this expression from farm to table. So it's basically about how to save food culture and reinvest and make good money. And we'll cover it. You can cut off there. Hi, I'm Waylon Lewis of ElephantJournal.com and Walk the Talk Show, and our values align, I would hope, 108% with Slow Money. It's a movement that brings together high finance, VC, and literally from the ground up, gardeners, farmers, local food. So it's really connecting or reconnecting money with true wealth, with the commonwealth, and it's a fun movement. It's in keeping like with slow food. It's delighting in community and humor and integrity, walking our talk. So Slow Money is probably one of the more hopeful movements that I've seen in my 10 or 11 years of covering this sort of thing, and the world certainly needs it, and is calling out for more people to get involved in you know, reinvesting our money in reality. And it's good times, it's good living, so check it out.
I'm Bryan Welch. I run the company that publishes Mother Earth News and the Etny Reader and some other things like that. Slow Money is really inspiring to me, I think, because we're at this point, this unique point in human history, or this unique point in the history of any living species, where we're coming to grips with our responsibility for the habitat. And part of coming to grips with that is changing our whole value system, where expansion and getting bigger and more numerous and taking over more territory doesn't really work for us anymore. So when we're in the middle of this spiritual and physical and economic revolution, and Slow Money, I think, is one of a few things that are happening that perfectly distill some of the most important chemicals that are going to go into the new human existence on the planet. So it's a great thrill to be part of it and to be here at the meeting.
Innanzitutto lasciatemi dire che sono molto felice di essere a questo bel appuntamento.
Well, first of all, allow me to speak that I'm very glad to be here.
Un appuntamento di alta politicità.
Well, this is a very important event from a political point of view.
Voi state qui discutendo l'essenza e l'importanza di una nuova politica.
You're here to discuss the essence and the importance of a new way of doing politics.
E come tutte le volte che ci avventuriamo in una nuova dimensione, abbiamo il senso dell'incertezza.
And whenever you venture into something new, obviously, you feel a little bit uncertain.
Di non essere adeguati.
Because you feel that you're not suitable, you're not adequate enough.
Di intraprendere una strada che non sappiamo dove porta.
Because you don't know what way we have to follow, and you don't know what this way leads you to.
In qualche misura facciamo forza sulla nostra fede.
And sometimes we have to believe in our faith.
Intraprendiamo questo percorso perché siamo convinti di essere nel giusto.
And we decide to follow this new route because we are convinced that we are following the right way.
Ma non siamo incerti.
But at the same time we are uncertain.
Non siamo tutti convinti.
So we're not completely self-confident, we're not completely convinced.
Questo è il momento storico che viviamo.
And this is exactly the historical momentum that we're going through.
Un momento dove il cambiamento è diventato fondamentale.
This is a moment where change really matters, it is fundamental.
Ma non riusciamo ancora a incidere.
But we're still not able to have a high input with what we do.
Siamo ancora dominati dal pensiero vecchio.
We are still kind of dominated by the old way of thinking.
Non riusciamo a intraprendere nuovi paradigmi.
So we're not able to understand and to start new paradigms.
Non riusciamo a decolonizzare il nostro pensiero.
We're not really able to decolonize our thinking.
Allora, io penso che è giusto il momento che queste assisi politiche
So I do think that this kind of political gatherings,
rivendichino la loro forza,
we have to express their own strength.
prendano coscienza di essere avanguardie in un mondo che sta cambiando velocemente.
And you have to be aware of the fact that you're really cutting edge, you're really ahead of all the others in a world that is changing very quickly.
E che siano coscienti di essere su una strada dove incontreranno molte persone nel mondo che la stanno praticando.
And you must be aware of the fact that you're following a way that a lot of people are following, so you are not alone in doing this.
Allora la prima cosa che noi dobbiamo rivendicare
So the very first thing that we have to affirm
è che questo mondo è la vera economia.
is that this world is the real economy.
Questo mondo è l'economia reale.
So this is exactly, the world we live in is the real economy.
Questo mondo rappresenta l'economia nella sua concezione alta, nobile.
So this world represents economy in its high level conception.
E basta partire dal significato della parola economia.
Just consider the very meaning of the word economy.
Arriva dal greco oikonomos,
It derives from Greek oikonomos,
governo della casa.
that is the governing of house, how you rule the house.
Chi fa economia mantiene bene la casa.
So when you do economy, it means that you look after your house.
Chi fa economia ha interesse che la casa sia in ordine.
And when you make this type of economy, obviously it's in your interest to keep everything well ordered inside your house.
Allora noi dobbiamo dire chiaramente che l'economia dominante non è economia.
So we have to therefore say that the predominant economy is not real economy.
Perché questa economia dominante sta distruggendo la nostra casa comune.
And that this predominant type of economy is actually destroying our common house.
È l'economia che privilegia il denaro soprattutto,
And this is the type of economy that mainly privileges money
che ritiene che le risorse del pianeta siano infinite
and just think that the planet's resources are infinite, they're endless.
e che pensa ad accumulare.
And this type of economy just is interested in gathering money, in accumulating money all the time.
Ma nel frattempo la casa crolla.
And at the same time, the foundations of our house is actually collapsing.
Allora noi guardiamo i motivi per cui noi oggi siamo qui.
So we have to understand the reasons why we're here today.
Due principali motivi.
Two main reasons.
Il primo,
The first,
abbiamo preso coscienza che la casa comune è in sofferenza.
we have to be aware of the fact that this common house where we're all living is now suffering.
Siamo coscienti che siamo davanti a un momento storico in cui la terra, che è la nostra casa comune, è seriamente minacciata.
We have to be aware of the fact that our common house, that is our planet Earth, is now seriously threatened.
Lo vediamo dalla fertilità dei suoli,
And we can see it from the soil fertility,
lo vediamo dalla carenza d'acqua,
and we can see it from the water scarcity,
lo vediamo dalla perdita della biodiversità,
and the fact that we're losing biodiversity,
lo vediamo dal cambiamento climatico,
and also from the climate change,
lo vediamo dalla distruzione del paesaggio.
and the landscape destruction too.
Questa è distruggere la casa.
So this way we are destroying the house where we all live in.
Questa non è economia.
So this is not economy.
Il secondo motivo
then the second reason why we're here today,
che è quello che ci unisce,
that we all share, that we all have in common,
è che abbiamo capito l'importanza della centralità del cibo.
is that we have all understood the central role of food.
Oh, incredibile!
That's incredible.
Noi siamo convinti che il cibo, la centralità del cibo è l'essenza del cambiamento.
So we are convinced that the central role of food is the very essence of change.
E se andiamo fuori a dire questo,
And if we tell this to the other people, to the rest of the world,
molti dei nostri concittadini non ci capiscono,
many of these people actually do not understand what we're saying.
perché la cultura del cibo
Because food culture
è diventata sempre più povera.
has become poorer and poorer.
La cultura del cibo non esiste più.
Basically, there is no longer this food culture.
Se voi aprite la televisione in qualsiasi parte del mondo,
If you turn on TV in any part of the world,
al mattino, al pomeriggio, la notte,
any time of the day and night,
trovate della gente con delle padelle che parla.
you will see people cooking all the time and speaking all the time
Sempre cibo.
and just talking about food all the time.
Se aprite i giornali c'è ricette
If you read newspapers and magazines, you will find a lot of recipes.
e le foto dei piatti come dei cadaverini.
And they stock pictures of food as if they were corpses.
Tutti parlano di cibo,
So everybody keeps on talking about food,
ma non hanno l'essenza del cibo.
but they don't really understand the very essence of food.
Non capiscono la cultura e il valore del cibo.
They don't really understand the food culture and the value of food.
Quello di cui parlano è una parte del cibo.
They only talk about a certain part of food.
Il 10%
It's just 10%.
è importante.
Sì.
Avere l'arte di trasformare il prodotto che ci dà la terra madre in prodotto edibile.
Certainly it is important to be able to cook what our Mother Earth gives us,
Ma questo è il 10%.
but this is just 10% of what food culture is.
Se noi pensiamo che tutta la cultura del cibo è quello che ci vediamo oggi nei media, nei mezzi di comunicazione,
If we only think that food culture is only represented by what we see on TV or what we read in magazines and newspapers,
noi abbiamo un concetto di pornografia alimentare.
well, what we have is actually a concept of food pornography.
No, non è questa la cultura del cibo.
But that's not food culture.
Allora, intendiamoci perché noi partiamo dal cibo.
So we have to understand why we want to start from food.
Noi partiamo dal cibo perché il cibo è l'energia della nostra vita.
We want to start from food because food is the energy of our life.
È il motivo per cui siamo viventi.
And is this the reason why we're living creatures?
E proprio per questo la nostra visione del cibo è una visione olistica.
And that's why, for this reason, our vision of food is a holistic vision.
Non è parziale.
So it's not a partial vision,
Nella cultura del cibo, nel valore del cibo,
because when we talk about the real food culture and the real food value,
c'è i miei affetti,
we include also our affections,
il mio amore,
our love.
c'è il rispetto per la terra,
It includes the respect for nature,
c'è l'economia vera,
and it definitely includes the real economy.
c'è il paesaggio,
It includes landscape,
c'è la musica,
music,
c'è la spiritualità
spirituality,
e poi c'è la biologia,
and then biology,
c'è la conoscenza dell'agricoltura,
the knowledge of farming and agriculture,
la conoscenza della zootecnia,
knowledge of husbandry and zootechnics,
la biologia,
biology,
l'antropologia,
anthropology,
la differenza delle culture.
the different cultures.
Questa visione olistica del cibo è quella che contraddistingue questa season.
So this is the holistic vision of food that we all have, all the people gathered in this room.
Con questa visione noi possiamo avere l'orgoglio di dire che partiamo dal cibo.
And with this vision, we must be proud and say that that's why we start from food.
Noi non partiamo dal cibo solo per una logica, diciamo, parziale.
So we don't consider food just because we want to have a partial logic.
Noi rispettiamo il cibo come essenza della vita.
But we do respect food because it is the very essence of life.
Perché contraddistingue tutta la nostra vita.
Because it characterizes our whole life.
Perché è il motivo per cui noi siamo viventi.
Because it is the very reason why we're living creatures.
Prendete in mano il vostro futuro.
And you have to control your future.
Siate Sancho Panza e Don Quixote assieme.
You have to be Don Quixote e Sancho Panza at the same time.
Non abbiate paura.
Don't be afraid.
Non abbiate paura dell'invincibile armata.
Don't be scared of the invincible armada.
Come dice il mio amico Richard.
As my friend Richard says.
Tutti pensavano che l'invincibile armata spagnola fosse imbattibile.
Everybody thought at that time that the Spanish invincible armada couldn't be beaten.
È stata battuta.
But it was defeated.
L'invincibile armata dell'economia capitalistica sarà battuta.
So the invincible armada of the capitalist economy will be defeated.
E sarà battuta da tante navi.
And it will be defeated by a lot of different ships.
Magari qualcuno sarà un po' pirata.
Maybe some of them will be pirates.
Qualcuno sarà un po' più creativo.
Others will be more creative.
Utilizzeremo la felice versatilità.
So we use this happy versatility.
E così come morta e si è sepolta l'invincibile armata.
So as we were able to defeat the invincible armada,
sarà morto e sepolto questo sistema alimentare criminale.
We'll be able to defeat the current criminal food system.
Grazie.
What am I talking about? What am I talking about? So we're at the kitchen. The kitchen is a great slow food restaurant. It's actually a series of restaurants in Boulder, Colorado, and also in Denver. And they're hoping to go national with their next door concept, which is basically making farm-to-table, local, slow food available in an affordable way around the country. But the point is, we're all there having a little private party with Carlo Petrini, the founder of Slow Food, who's one of the most charismatic, fun, heartfelt dudes ever. He's awesome. We're having a great time. We're hanging out with our buddy Bryan Welch and a whole bunch of other buddies, having a great old dinner. It's a very privileged and fun night.